Hello people. Okay, just a quick update. So I'm getting about in my van, trying to park up in places where I can avoid this hydrochloride and this chemical that makes you urinate all the time. And it seems what's happening is that I'll pull up somewhere in a lay-by, say outside Warminster, and about 2 days later they'll catch up with me, park up around me, or just release, this hydrochloride around the fields and stuff, and then, sure enough, 2 days later I have to move on, and this seems to be the pattern. I went at Westbury White Horse, the same thing happened to me there. I was okay for a day and a night, and then slowly but surely they started parking up, and there's a car park on Westbury White Horse that you can park on. And of course it was the whole of Salisbury Plain as well, Battlesbury, and sure enough, hydrochloride and this chemical that makes you urinate a lot started coming around. But because, I don't know, at Westbury White Horse in Wiltshire, you can see for a good 10-20 miles, even more around you. So I guess they found it harder to do. You can't really park right up next to like in a lay-by. And so before I went at Westbury White Horse, I parked up in some lay-bys around just outside Warminster, and the same thing happened there. First of all, the first night it's okay, second night, and then it starts pouring in your caravan, and you think that must be the car or the van in front that's parked up, and so I thought, right, and the thing is, it's fuel as well. I've got to watch the fuel, even though this van's quite economical. I've still got to be careful. So after staying at West White Horse for a few days, I had to do up the van, clean her and give her a service. I come back to Bristol, so I parked up here, where I was to start off with when I left Eberway's farm. The same happened here. The first night was fine. The second night I started to get a whiff of hydrochloride, and then the third night is just the chemical that makes you urinate all the time. And it's just a nightmare, people. And it did seem to be coming from, these are the travellers that are, a lot of them travellers and stuff that have parked out there. It did seem to be coming quite close from here. You can see the gap in the door. As soon as I opened the door, it started pouring in, people. I wasn't sure which is worse, the amount that had built up in the van or the outside. I didn't know whether to close the door or leave it open. And it was coming from this direction as well. I'm wondering about this chemical they're releasing everywhere that makes you urinate all the time. I'm wondering if other people are getting the same thing now. It would be nice to get some feedback there if you are. The hydrochloride they're spraying in the upper atmosphere anyway. They've already admitted, there's a video on my site, this is Harvard University professor admitting it on a video, saying yes, we are spraying the whole world now with hydrochloride. For those of you who don't know what hydrochloride is, I've said in my other videos, hydrochloride is a mixture of chloride and sulfuric acid, and it's made into a gas form, and they're spraying the whole world with it, people. Have been for the past 5 years now, and that's what we've been breathing in. All humans have been breathing this in, and with the excuse that our ozone's depleting so much that we have to take such drastic action. As I said in my videos before, that is not the reason why. The reason why is because we are in something called equatorial mass. It happens every 360,000 years. We line up with the centre of our galaxy, and all that heat and energy comes from the centre of our galaxy, and that's helping, depleting our ozone. And plus we've got this other binary star in our solar system called Planet X, or Nibiru. So yes, I'll admit that our ozone is being depleted, but it's not because of our carbon footprint. Okay, our carbon footprint is negligible. It's not even on the scale, people, and that's been proven time and time again by people out there. There's a video on my site. There's a scientist, German scientist. She shows you a million grains of rice. It's not a million, but it shows you this table and these bags of rice on this table, and it's like, representing a million grains of rice. And she shows you this little bag with about 5 grains of rice in it. That is our carbon footprint, So they are using that to cover the real reason why they're doing this. But, and there's so many other ways we could have dealt with this, people. We can put clouds in the sky with special machines that just basically put clouds in the sky in weather systems. They did it with the Saturn V rocket engine when they were testing it. They took a big place in Louisiana. NASA strapped one of their rocket engines to the ground and blasted it off, and they created a massive weather system full of clouds with no dangerous chemicals. It's just inert chemicals, nothing in there dangerous, and it started raining. And we could have done something like that, grown millions and millions of trees, put solar reflectors out there, because in space you can put solar reflectors out there and reflect the heat and control the heat, which is what the Russians did. They put a satellite up into space. There's videos on my site, and it had this. It was a 50 by 50, I think, 100 meter by 100 meter. I'm not sure. Malar umbrella that it opened up, and it reflected sunlight onto Siberia, and they could actually it thawed out parts of Siberia, and they can actually grow crops there. Now it doesn't take a genius to work out how to reverse that and reflect it. There were so many ways we could have dealt with it, but this New World Order, and make up your own mind who is behind them. Okay, said no, we've got to spray the whole world. Been spraying the whole world now with 17 years with alum oxide, and now they're spraying us with hydrochloride. You get in the picture, people. Yeah. This New World Order, they erected these stones in Louisiana, the Gregorian stones, and they said, we are going to maintain humanity by 500 million. That's 500 million people. That's admitting genocide on an unprecedented scale, people, right? And in case you're wondering about, not everybody is coming up in arms about this, are they? A lot of so-called human beings are just getting on with their normal life and thinking, but who are they, people? Are they people? I've done my homework, yeah. I know what's behind this New World Order. I know, I know what species of beings have been on this planet long before human beings got here, and I know what you're doing. Anyway, there we go, people. It's just a quick update. Like I said, the gas is really coming from that area, being released, and also this area up here. Last night in this van, it was hell. I had to wear my respirator, and I did this. I went through hell and high water to get this van, to organise a situation so I could just move somewhere in the middle of nowhere and not be covertly sprayed on the ground by these New World Order operatives and that. But no, they followed me, and now they're spraying me here. So it looks like I've got to take a different approach and realise that I think now the only way we're going to start fighting back now, people, is by getting together, and making statements to the fact that this is happening, and taking it to the police, and then, law system. Because otherwise, look at these birds, yeah? That is one of the reasons why I started campaigning against chemtrails, is watching the birds fly over, shaking the poison off their wings, And the trees, have you seen how many trees they're going around and cutting down? How much longer do you think, these trees are going to put up with being sprayed with hydrochloride every day and every night, let alone the human race? France kicks off. Historically, France kicks off and says, no more, we're not having any of this. Great, Usually they drag out the guillotine, wouldn't they, and sort it out, And then Hong Kong has to stop. France has to stop. Because of the virus. Isn't that convenient, people? And then what's the virus? Is, you know, they're doing all the things, the legislations and all the rest of it. They slip in the bill, you know, and all these other things where we can't campaign, where we can't stand up and say something in public. They've planned this very carefully, haven't they, people? Yeah, very carefully, you know. So whilst the lockdown's on, this forced weird intercyclic virus, whatever it is, you know, doesn't work like a virus, does it? I think it's some sort of evil engineer thing, like lots of other people do. You know, it's some, I don't know. So yeah, you know, they've worked very carefully, haven't they? Put all this together. You know, starting off with the chemtrails, then as soon as the rest of the world, like France, starts campaigning, boom, release the virus, then bring these bills in whilst nobody else can really do much about it, and it's too late, isn't it? You know. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I'm going to find another place to pull up tonight, you know, we'll see. Cheers, people. Keep fighting.